Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lids, and we're back for some more Pyre Community RITE Night, which means, of course, some good old-fashioned multiplayer Pyre, featuring first and foremost none other than the members of the RITE Club Discord server, the place for all things multiplayer Pyre. And if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, then look no further, because you can join said Discord group. Hold on, if I spell it correctly. Oh, wow. There we go. By clicking on that link right there. But those of you in chat, you are not off the hook. No, because you see the red circle with the white L below chat. You click on that and you'll find all of the various requests that you can make today, including things ranging from selecting players, exiles, masteries, songs, arenas, even Titan stars are all fair game. So, without further ado, let's hop into versus mode here, set ourselves back to our defaults. I will hop into Discord and let me know if there is anyone who would like to get us started today. Yeah, I did make some tweaks. I don't think anything terribly dramatic, but a few tweaks to the cooldowns and general sort of request structure. The goal basically being to give ourselves a better balance so that it's... I think oftentimes we kind of think of it as having one match in which we get requests from chat, and then after that, a match in which the players take whatever they want. And that, not that that's always exactly the sequencing of it, but roughly that sort of pace between requests and players just taking what they want is generally, I think, the balance that people like to have, or at least, you know, it's a good middle ground between getting in a lot of requests from chat while at the same time letting the players also get the chance to play the teams they want. So let me get, it looks like Makos is interested in starting us off. Makos, I'm not seeing you on Steam at the moment, or am I? Am I? I don't think so. Oh. Well. Okay, there we go. I was gonna say, maybe it's just one of those finicky Steam things, but it sounds like we should be about to get Makos in here, and let us know if there's anyone else who would like to hop in as well. Artemis Fowl, how's it going? How's it going? Good to see you. It is indeed time to thrash some packs. I agree. Good plan. Okay, and we'll start off with a boat as well. We're still looking for a second person here. No VC for Makos today. Okay, no worries. That is fine. There's Makos on Steam. Okay, there we go. Invite should be on its way. I wrote her good for a few matches at the beginning. Nice. Let me get I wrote her in as well. In that case. Oh, hold on. I unplugged my controller a half second after whoever that was just made it in. As for whether I just proceeded to mess everything up, that remains to be seen. I noticed just a split second too late, perhaps. We shall see. Looks like this is probably iRotor we have in.
Yes, I'm player one.
Okay.
But there's also just one controller plugged in.
Yeah, did we?
And that's mine.
Let me double check Did it go through for Macaws? Looks like Macaws is not in yet. Macaws, I can resend the invite if that's preferable. Lilac, you do know we have a boat magic emote, right?
If you're saying something, we cannot hear you.
Oh. On Discord? My name is lighting up.
No, I mean Macaws.
Oh. I do see Macaws just got in. He did say that he was going to be going no voice chat
no
today.
voice chat, yes.
So I'm guessing he's in and he can listen, but he may not be able to talk today.
Yeah.
And did we just get Macaws in-game? We did. Okay, perfect. Theoretically. Okay. So I think we're good to go then. Let me just double check because we did have a few things. It was boat. It was thrash pack. And that may be it. Let me just quickly ban a bot in chat, and then we can begin. Alright. Well, anyways, let us get started. I may or may not have just spilled an entire glass of water.
Welcome to the Hulk of Ores. Have you the fortitude required to prevail? May further shame befall whomever fails. The withdrawn, stand ready. Fireheart, stand ready.
Alright, one moment. While you guys are selecting your teams, there's no requests for team selection. I'm gonna go quickly try to wipe up some of the water that I just spilled.
Teaso.
Okay, I think I've mitigated most of the damage.
Well,
It is a bunch of glasses of water. Unfortunately, some glasses of what? The place where I... go behind the scenes here. The place where I hold my 4 glasses of water and 1 glass of tea is not a table, it's a chair. It's like a random chair. And the chair is not perfectly level, so that does lead to, at times, a precarious situation where if I am not careful when I pick up a glass of water, it can potentially spill over. Especially if some glasses, the shape
I'm sorry,
of them...
what?
the shape of them has a lower center of gravity, in other cases a higher center of gravity, so they're more sensitive to being bumped and potentially tipped over, and so alas, I did have several glasses today that have the higher center of gravity. Bumped one of those, and boop, there goes the whole glass of water.
I'm going to leave the call in a minute until I am ready to play later. But I need to ask, why are you keeping them on a chair, and why do you have 4?
4 is low, for what it's worth.
Are you implying there's more on the chair usually?
Sometimes.
Why?
Because that's how many it takes.
Takes to what?
To commentate a RITE Night.
Ah. Why on a chair?
Because it's the only... What, you rather I put them on the floor?
Do you not have table space for that?
I could, but then the issue becomes it's more subject to spilling over electronics.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So, like,
All
for
right,
example, I spilled an entire glass of water, and it only spilled on the chair, and didn't really cause any damage.
That's fair, actually. Alright, I have my necessary information. I will go now. Enjoy
Okay.
the ride. Farewell.
If only there were a device to go on top of liquid containers to prevent them from spilling. I've tried to get other, like, trays to hold a bunch of glasses of water and stuff like that.
Something.
Let me get you back. Oh. It says you're still in, iRotor.
Macos disconnected.
Oh, Macaws did. Okay, let me get you.
Come on, check 2. Can you anyone hear
Oh,
me?
yes. Yes.
Hello.
Alright, I should have just resent you an invite, Macaws. Any luck? If you pause and then unpause, sometimes that's... Oh. That didn't sound good. Okay, wait, are you still in? I thought I heard you disconnect there. Okay, yeah. I've re-invited, and then we'll try doing the musical chairs on the Steam Remote Play controller settings. No worries, Macaws, I got you. Okay, so just quickly test that, and if that isn't working... Oh! But that's promising. Okay. Alright, so I wrote her going Prayer Beads, Pamitha. Saw him take an Imp first, and it was Stowaway in the lead spot for Macaws. Now, Macaws goes Prayer Beads, Pamitha. Quick throwing Volfred in the last spot for iRotor. And then Nutrition Stick on Manly in the last spot for Macaws. So here we go. With our first match of the day, and it's between iRotor and Macaws here. Both players taking their preferred teams. Some thrash packing on the boat. Pamitha. Ooh, taken out by a fell swoop there. Except look at that quick counterattack. Blink and you missed it from Macaws there. Throw and everything, so it means he's still at full strength even in this round after scoring. Extra speed and mobility from Manly there, causing a little bit of trouble for iRotor, but now iRotor back on the attack with Tizo.
A bit of a blunder.
Manly now for Macaws. Stowaway intercepted. iRotor's attack thwarted. Back with Macaws here, and eyeing the Manly blink, but not quick enough to make it through there. Back with iRotor, and with some space to work with here. Able to plunge with an offensive imp, 25 damage there, but no prayer beads. He has that on Pamitha, not on Tizo. So iRotor down one character here. Can he still find a way to make it work? He can. That is Pamitha plunging that time, and as I was just saying, she will come back here. Stowaway's throw intercepted, back with Pamitha, now Tizo for iRotor, using a little bit of the imp boat magic there. Oftentimes overlooked, but can't be too careful, because you know, those imps, in some cases, can have just as much beneficial boat magic as the demons. And yet somehow it still flies under the radar. Ooh, and multiple different characters here applying pressure from Macaws, except perhaps a last-second save from iRotor's Pamitha, stopping what looked to be a sure Macaws score. Now Volfred, iRotor, trying to fend off until Pamitha returns. Now she's back. She has the mobility that Volfred lacked, but she wasn't able to make it through. So now back here with Macaws, but the Stowaway goes down. And now it's a sap showdown. Say that 5 times fast. Pamitha, oh, quickly able to dash her way in there. And that means one score potentially would be enough for iRotor, except here is Macaws with a 20 damage throw, but also bear in mind, both players do have saps, So there may be some rekindling at play here that we would need to factor in. Stowaway going the ninja route, except she's blocked in the process. And there is the rekindling. It's a full 50 for Makos. So plenty of Pyre life remaining. And then whittles away another 20 points from Iroder's Pyre.
Higher hearts are now favored to prevail.
Ooh, and a close one for Makos there, but a whole bunch of auras in and around Iroder's Pyre, making it hard for Makos to break through. And now, Makos doing a little bit of that himself.
Get out, Tizo.
Pamitha. Now, Manly stopped short of the Pyre. Tizo, there's more of the Imp Boat magic, and it nearly was enough to get Iroder through. But now it's Makos, blocked here. Iroder, oh, had his Imp right next to the Pyre, and you can tell, based on where that portal is, just how close he came to scoring, but that also means if he goes through the portal here, it's almost an automatic score, and Makos is very wary of that. And Iroder does still manage to find a way through. It's with his Imp. It's 25 damage, but it means no Tizo in this round. It does mean it is possible for Iroder to finish this one with one score, but it would need to be a full damage Volfred score, which is maybe not the easiest thing for him to pull off, as here's Makos with a 20 damage plunge, and now we're asking the same question of Iroder that we were asking of Makos a few minutes ago. Does Iroder have rekindling? Because if not, Makos might be one score away here. Except it's 50 rekindling for Iroder as well. When the throw intercepted. And Iroder now has his Imp back, which means he has enough damage with the Tizo plunge. GG.
The rite conducted with aplomb.
Shap showdown indeed.
Thus end
You hear?
this night's proceedings.
Alright. Vicious Tizo glare. Well, let's head on back then.
Until the next
We all
rite.
won. Let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. Otherwise, at the very least, we'll set ourselves back to our defaults here. There we go. The green guys. Never mind that they're more or less both green guys. Alright, but not immediately seeing any requests from chat here, so looks like we may be going to hop straight back in and have these guys take whatever they want for the next one. So let's do it.
The withdrawn shall take on the pyre.
Alright, so we're at the spring. No requests at all for this one.
Shall conduct
All up to the players.
Headwind.
And it'll be a power casting Headwind as the lead for Iroder. Quick throwing Manly as the lead for Makos.
Sap.
Quick throwing Palmas for Iroder. Similar idea there. None of the above?
The deluge. Pamitha.
Prayer beads, Pamitha. Ooh. Makos Macaws here with the last selection. Breaking out the Leeching Bertrude with the Chrome Salute, so keep an eye out for that. What amounts to, whoa, almost an automatic score at 1 point for this match, but a huge power cast from Iroda there, helping to set up that first score. It was Headwind, and he's gone in this round now, and usually we would say, oh, quick throw in there for 18 damage, and as we were saying, it was quick throw talisman on both players' saps, so similar setup there. Another quick throw this time as well. It's 21, slightly more from a cost that time. Headwind down this time. I've never heard that line. I swear. What? Has anyone heard that line before? The voice speaks French?
What happened there? Seemingly unfair.
Deluge returns. Down he goes, brings back Bertrude in the process, and that sapling also doing a lot of work there for Macaws.
Now then.
Rotor able to harp push his way through though.
Shall the withdrawn
French's cannon to Pyre.
their luck?
From that range, that throw isn't going to do much for Macaws there. Obviously up closer it's unblockable, but instead it's Iroder retrieving the orb and able to plunge in here for 20 with his Prayer Beads Pamitha.
Coming.
Pamitha trying to force her way through here. But Macaws with Bertrude leaping in for 30 damage, and this is where Macaws wishes that one of those throws was for slightly more damage, because this is just out of Macaws' range. Well, now, with that Headwind plunge, it does mean that Iroder just got 10 Pyre life back, and that does further change the math here.
Deluge caught out.
As this is likely at least a 2-score game for both players, again, outside of the whole rekindling factor. Pamitha gets a shield, gets it back, plunges, and now with 15 Pyre life, 1 score may be enough for Iroder to trigger what, if any, rekindling Macaws may have. Except there is none.
GG.
GG.
The withdrawn prevail.
Well played, you two.
Aside.
Alright, we do have a customize off. So randomized exiles, masteries, and talismans. Alright, so why don't we hop back in here.
The withdrawn shall now face.
The Imp Arena, okay. And that's Nomad Savage Harp for Iroder, that is... Ooh. Did we lose a Macaws? It appears we may have lost a Macaws. This is still you on the left here, Iroder, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's just check. I'm going to turn Macaws back up a little bit. Oh, he disconnected. Okay, that explains it. Just going to hop out. Okay, no worries, Macaws. No worries. Glad we could get you in for a little bit. GG's. But it does perhaps mean we'd be looking for someone else to hop in Macaws' place in that case. So do we have anyone else who would like to join for some matches? Murph, welcome to if you'd like. I think in all likelihood we would probably reset. Well, I mean, this is a customized off match, but we'd probably still reset just to get you in more cleanly and, you know, truly from the onset. No worries, Macaws. But yeah, Murph, happy
No
to
problem.
get you in. Alright, let me send an invite to the Murfinator. Okay. Invite should be on its way. Theoretically. Okay. As I said, I know like, it's customized off, so you weren't picking your team anyway, but it still feels like it might make sense just to reset here.
Hello.
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 Just confirm Murph as to whether you are player 1 or player 2.
Looks like I'm player neither.
Oh. You're usually on
I only have one
controller, right?
plugged in. I'm still
I
player
have
1,
one.
which is not surprising.
I have no bumpers to switch player to, so
Let's see what's happening here.
Oh, okay, 2 controllers.
Oh, there we go. Okay, perfect. What about now? No bumper action?
Still nothing.
Let's go put you here, maybe? What about now? And it could just be that... Oh, I would say we need to just get you into the squad setup screen, and then we can experiment from there, because sometimes that's the best place to
Maybe.
to see. On the other hand, this is a customized off match, so
Customized off, yeah.
it's not ideal from that standpoint.
I can unplug and replug my controller, maybe?
Yeah, why don't we give that a shot?
Still nothing.
I'm gonna try putting you back at number 3. Just because theoretically that's where it was working for Macaws a minute ago. I'm gonna throw your name in here. Act on the assumption that that is where we will have you. Which triumvirate would you like to be, Murph?
Be the Fate today.
Fate today? Okie-doke. Alright, let's start a new customize off match and just take a minute at the beginning to check how things are working on Murph's side and see if we need to make any adjustments.
Yep.
The withdrawn shall confront the fate.
Okay, so let's just see how things are looking here. I assume that's our rotor on the left, is that still correct?
Yes.
Okay, but nothing on Murph's end?
Nothing on my end.
Murph,
still.
what if you pause, unpause? Let's just try that real quick. Anything there? Doesn't
Like me
look like that's
trying to
working.
unpause myself? No, yeah, I can't.
Okay, so then let's go back to swapping you around. What about now?
Oh, I felt vibration there. Nope, still nothing.
Okay, let's put you on number 1. What about now? Yeah, obviously player 2 is player 1. It goes without saying.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys want me to give you a countdown? Do you just want to start from here?
Countdown's
Start
fine.
from here.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give you guys. I'll put us here, and then I'll do a 3, 2, 1, go, and on go I'll hit resume. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so take a look at what we have here setup-wise, because it is a customized off match. We just learned it's a Luminous Idol Cur Pyre rotor that just plunged, and 20 damage on that, so he has at least the first mastery on the right side, and I think we saw at least 2 jumps as well. Also has a Crone and an Imp. Then on the Murph side, it's also Barker. Oh, a Typhoon Bottle for one of iRotor's characters we have just learned, which is unfortunate for Murph, as this would have otherwise been a great scoring opportunity. But it's a Worm and a Demon in the other places for Murph. I think we know of 2 talismans for iRotor. I don't know if we have any information yet on Murph's side. No prayer beads on that deluge. Now, at the moment, just Jody. He strategically throws the orb against the Pyre, bounces it back out, and now, with Barker, able to throw that one in for 11.
Now to the flame.
Yeah, there's the Luminous Idol. Is it 3 jumps or is it just 2? It's a fair number of jumps. Big cast there from Barker.
Orbs unclaimed
The other Barker goes down. Murph? Can't make... In a Barker versus Barker duel, Barker wins. Speaking of which, Barker, oh, for a second there, was still next to the Pyre. Throw from Murph does connect.
forth into the
It's
flames.
12. So lots of little scores here for Murph, but they're starting to add up. Of course, does have Jody, who would have by far the most damage potential.
To the flames.
Speaking of which, Jody must have given Murph the extra starting Pyre life, because we have seen a couple of plunges now of the 20 damage variety from my rotor, but only just now does Murph drop below 100 starting Pyre life. Throw again from Murph.
Flung right in.
This time for the full 15. Rotor wins that orb race and looks to throw this time. Intercepted, but reclaims the orb. Intercepted again. Down goes Barker. For Murph. Rotor, oh, checked for the Crone Salute, but clearly did not have it, as we did not see all of Murph's exiles transform into defenseless howlers. Valiant return from Deluge, I suppose, gives us a little bit of information, although not that much. Murph again. Oh! Very devious Tizo play from my rotor there. Very aggressive. And indirectly, I suppose, did help him set up that 20 damage Cur plunge there. But we know that's not prayer beads on Barker, so he's gone in this round. That's the Luminous Idol exile for iRotor. iRotor moving in with his Crone, but down she goes. Means potentially a little more space here for Jody. And could have sworn she landed in the lava there, but apparently just avoided it. iRotor with Tizo. And with Milda, patiently building, inching closer to the Pyre, makes his move.
Milda's not so scary now. Banishment for
Oh,
all.
but everyone down on iRotor's side, and as we noticed before, yeah, that Typhoon bottle is not what Murph wanted to see. And then the portal that iRotor still had helped to set up a 15 damage Imp plunge there, but it now means no Tizo in this round. Have we learned any of Murph's talismans yet? I'm not sure if we have. That makes you wonder.
Ooh. Take that, Barker.
Jody. Pushing forward now. Knocking back the defenders and sets up a 30 damage throw. That was fairly quick on the throw. Does she have Star Splinter? Was it that fast? Or were my eyes playing tricks on me? Oh, and the plunge!
GG.
Murph
I'm
takes the
pretty
win.
sure she had Star Splinter.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously it was Star Splinter.
I was like, wait a second, that was a awfully quick 30 right there.
I couldn't tell. I don't think she had Celestial Spike, but
If he didn't, you would have seen that immediately.
yeah.
Well, GG.
Until the stars align.
Alright, and we do have an arena request for this one, but let us know if there's anything else we're looking for. For the Isle of Kalamer. If not, we'll put customize back on, of course. Full right side on the demon.
Well, at
Okay.
least right side master, like it was like the R4 mastery. Not sure if it was completely right side. I didn't pay attention to the dash.
We saw
only
the
had one
extra
dash, I
Pyre
think.
life, right?
Must
So that
be
actually
right side.
confirms if you have the extra Pyre life, you wouldn't have enough points to go all the way down to Celestial Spike, right?
Yeah, I guess that's
Yeah,
right.
that's obvious.
So at least
Well,
that
obvious
much
that you
we knew
didn't.
definitively.
There was no Celestial Spike.
Didn't have 2 dashes?
No, I didn't, so it must have been alright.
Okay. Alright, well, not seeing anything else request-wise for this one, so why don't we hop back in? We'll just be the Isle of Kalamer, the Imp Arena, but otherwise all up to the players here.
The withdrawn versus the fate. Welcome. Who shall conduct the rites? Exile.
We've seen a lot of those prayer beads harps thus far today, and that trend continues. That's what iRotor leads with. On the other end, it's a power casting, shoulder smashing Snadra.
Exile.
Web Lanthorn Raji, second spot for iRotor. Murph with the quick-throwing Volfred. And we were just talking about the Celestial Spike Demon. iRotor's thinking about it. No worries, Makas.
Guess
It
one
was...
for press. Maybe the did I accidentally pick the mastery? Probably.
It was awfully quiet, Makas, as I was kind of saying in passing. I could, if I really focused, I might have been able to hear some of it, but no worries.
T-Zone.
And Speedy T-Zone, the last spot for Murph. So, okay, here we are. The Isle of Kalamer, both players taking their preferred teams in. Wow, Jody just sent Snadra flying.
Glory first to the
Or rather,
withdrawn.
was it Jody? It is Jody, right? Initially, iRotor was setting up Vids Paleth. That is usually his go-to demon, but it is Jody here. And a wall of imps just completely blocking off iRotor. They are unpredictable, but it is iRotor, still managing to plunge here with Jody.
Into the adversary's flame.
Murph, like Tizo, against Raji. And it's Tizo who wins out, except, is that a throw that Zaxion intercepted? I suppose so. And then converts with a 20 damage plunge. Raji. Back to Jody. That Celestial Spike we were talking about, the banishing throws, it's awfully dangerous. Oh, and there's the shield to set up Snadra, although it wasn't enough to help her progress through safely there, and in fact, with no one back defensively, opportunity there for an uncontested demon throw, and it triggers the rekindling. So Murph now on the second life bar, and it's 50. So there is still some Pyre life to work with, but now it is iRotor who's defenseless here. Opportunity for Snadra, gets the throw off as she goes down. It's 10 damage plus 5 leech. So it is possible for Murph to get some Pyre life back. And Murph, goes for the 25 damage with an uncontested score there. Don't you wonder if Murph was gonna swap over to Snadra for the leech, which technically with full damage would have been a net 30-point play, slightly more value but less damage. And with that 30 damage score, it means one more of those would be enough for iRotor, unless Murph can get more leech from Snadra, but Snadra's gone at the moment. Does Murph try to make a point of forcing the issue with Snadra? But down she goes again. Here is iRotor applying a lot more pressure.
It is done.
GG.
And takes the win.
The
GG.
withdrawn prevail.
GG.
Their pyre burns, whilst that of their adversaries is but ash.
Well played, you two.
The rite is ended.
Alright. Let's head on back. And let us know, chat,
Until the stars align.
if there's anything we'd like to see in this next one between iRotor and Murph. If not, of course, we can always leave this up to the players to take whatever they'd like. I think that is what we had in the previous one, right? But not seeing anything at the moment. So why don't we hop in for the next one? Oh, I was gonna say, I hear a boat,
Welcome.
but no requests, so all up to the players
The rites.
to choose how to adapt to the boat, and it is perhaps the arena more than any other
Tizo.
that may require a little bit of adaptation. Some players embrace it, some players it's more of an afterthought. As for how critical it is to the success of the team versus just embracing the memeage, that's perhaps debatable. Murph taking the speedy Jody does certainly catch your attention in that way, as that is oftentimes a way to emphasize the boat magic to the greatest extent possible. Although, as I was mentioning earlier, don't forget about those imps on the boat. Oh, heads up. Yeah, you have the hangover effect on Tizo there. And he stole your
He stole
talisman.
your talisman. We have to get it back.
Tizo ran away with. If you still want that talisman, it's on Tizo right now.
Yeah, I guess I'll take it back. I was thinking about maybe running something else.
Messenger.
All right, well, here we go.
Begin.
Tizo. Oh, there's a little bit of boat magic for you. Not the most dramatic, but might have been significant nonetheless there, as it did help Iroder move quite far, quite fast. Which eventually helped set up that plunge there. Zoxiana now. She flaps her way through. And she had prayer beats, as we've oftentimes seen with people's harps. Oh, Jody, close but not close enough there, and more boat magic from those imps. Hamatha against Zoxiana. Oh, runs out of stamina, but Murph switches in to the imp. But down goes Messenger Imp, and here's the counterattack, and it is quick and decisive from Iroder. Messenger Imp from Murph. Down goes Messenger Imp, but here's Pamatha, and she'll do it all herself. And she had prayer beads, so she's back in this round. And now it once again may be all up to Pamatha here. This time, though, she's stopped short. And it's Iroder's turn. His harp is downed. Iroder building. Just a Tizo back defensively for Iroder, and Murph moves in to apply the pressure. And it's a high-flying Jody who does find her way in for a 30 damage plunge. Now we know she doesn't have prayer beads, so it means one fewer exile for Murph here. We saw Murph get the job done with just a Pamtha before, so we know it's still possible, but here is Iroder plunging for 25 with a non-prayer beads exile, so now it's him who's down one character. Needs a little more room for Jody, but just slightly short of hitting the mark there. Oh, and it's Iroder who won out on that duel, as seemingly both harps ran straight into each other. Half expected them both to go down. Jody, on another attempt, lost the orb, even if she ended up near the pyre. Instead, it's Iroder who ends in the pyre. Jody this time finds the way all the way through, and that means Iroder now down to 20 pyre life, so one score potentially all that Murph needs. And did Iroder take extra damage on one of his imps he may, in which case he would be in range with one score, and this might be it.
Did
There it is.
The withdrawn prevail.
GG.
I thought for certain they would not.
Well played, you two.
The rite is complete.
All right, let's head on back
Until the next rite.
and let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like for the next one. That one was all up to the players, random arena even, but we ended up on the boat. Okay. Oh, not for some reason, at first I thought that was an Exile's request and you said 0, and I was like, what? How? No masteries. No masteries is the request. Okay. Anything else on top of that, or will that be all? That depends. Not go on? You forgot where the button? I'm not sure what. Not sure what you meant to type there. Okay, let's see. Okay, this one is definitely, it's a little out there. Is this still possible? Theoretically, I think it is. The request is, you can only use your first exile. If they get banished, you have to wait until they respawn. Feel like there are some ways in which this could turn into a complete deadlock. If the characters who people are not using have, say, large enough auras that they're still basically blocking the pyre even when you aren't using them. I mean, I guess you could still jump or throw past them.
I mean, what happens if you plunge?
Very valid question.
Yeah,
Very valid question. Does that mean that functionally both people need to take prayer beads? Otherwise, if you plunge, do you then take your second character? Or do you basically just take turns plunging? Oh, I plunged. Guess I don't have a character in this round. Alright, your turn. Alright, why don't we do one here where we'll do the no masteries, and then, or I was gonna say, and that gives you some time to think through some of the other factors that may require some planning. But it could otherwise just be always prayer beads on the first character. So first character, only one you can use. It has prayer beads in both cases. If that character goes down, then you just can't do anything, really. So it's a 1v1 duel. We might have actually tried this once before. And this is with 0 masteries, which is going to make it quite a bit more challenging. So I think it is doable. Let's give it a shot. If there's some unforeseen issue that we run into, then we may have to scrap it. We'll see. The prayer beats call was a good one.
Shall take on the fate.
So am I allowed to pass the ball to my other exiles and just not remove them, or
Who shall conduct
is it just like
the
don't
rites?
use them at all?
I assume it means quite literally do not use them at all. Whether that be offensively or defensively.
Sir Gilman.
Okay, so Iroder goes Gilman. Obviously, the first exile is the one that matters here. The other ones don't really mean much. And since the players are functionally limited to just using prayer beads, that may also tilt the balance towards certain characters more than others. No masteries, so that's also a factor to strongly consider. How all those things play off one another is a little hard to gauge, as it'll be Lendl, the Nomad.
Eldariel.
Yeah, and then doesn't really matter who you take in the other spots. Okay, so a 1v1 duel, functionally, between Gilman and Lendl.
The orb is up.
And Lendl threads the needle there, able to plunge for 20, and here's why the prayer beads matters, because it's, oh, there we go. It means that Murph does still have the designated character, but here's our rotor, able to plunge with his designated character. Now, of course, if they do just trade off 1 score each, then Murph is dealing more damage. Increments of 20 versus increments of 15.
The orb flies.
But if we're talking throws, then in some cases, obviously, that may be less than the maximum.
Tis taken.
Rotor does have faster throws
Beauteous.
with his worm relative to the Nomad. But obviously the Nomad has, once again, higher maximum amount.
Flung with considerable precision.
So it's, in some ways, a math equation more than anything else, as 1 more full damage score would theoretically be all that Murph needs. It's not like Iroder can leech or anything along those lines. Another 15 damage score, but it just doesn't add up nearly as quickly as it does for Murph, who seals the deal with that throw. GG.
The scribes themselves surely have taken note.
All right. Well played, you two.
The rite is done.
Now let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
What's up, Camilo? How's it going? Not gonna lie, I was surprised that the Nomad was the go-to. But obviously, Murph showed that, perfectly valid decision. Perfectly valid choice. Is there anything we are looking for this one, or are we gonna have the players just take their preferred teams? Up to you guys, of course. cooked me for real good in the IRL. Right Night with nomads. Nice, nice. I mean, well, there's nomads and then there's Lendl, right? I mean, of all the nomads, just picking Lendl is making a bit of a statement, I feel like. Alright, but I suppose not seeing any requests from chat, so why don't we hop back in here?
The withdrawn versus.
Okay, we are at iRotor's home arena.
Welcome.
Both players able to take whatever they want here. We'll see how iRotor draws upon the energy of the home crowd. Couple of harps. Of course, this arena might be the first time we're seeing it today, but maybe second on the list after the boat in terms of arenas where you can mess around and do some silly things. We'll see to what extent either player opts to go that route, or if this will be purely professional. All business. It's a speedy Bertrude in the second spot for Murph. And a quick throwing Palmas in the last spot for iRotor. And when Lanthorn Tizo for Murph. Those harps are quick. And iRotor banishes the opposing harp. I can't make it around Tizo. Ooh, and iRotor using that portal. And then the sap shield as well. Ooh, iRotor powers his way in with, you could probably call that a harp push. As Murph goes with a similar strategy, but comes up just slightly short there. iRotor again with his harp. Again with the harp push, but now iRotor coming up short as well. Palmas moving in, has the quick throw, and it lands there for 15. I think we have a Stubborn Flame on Murph's Bertrude, slowing down Macaws a bit as Murph able to plunge in there for 20. And there's your confirmation, yep. Stubborn Flame, reducing the amount of damage that iRotor does by 10 whenever iRotor is in the lead. And with that 20 damage plunge, it's close, but iRotor is technically still in the lead, so in some ways that's actually preferable for Murph. Just stay close the entire time to reduce the amount of damage that iRotor does for more or less the entirety of the match, and then make your move at the very end to take the win. Because this is adding up quite a bit here. Murph just couldn't quite get it to work there for Bertrude. iRotor blocked, banished. Murph on the attack. Sets up a portal. I think that is a super portal by the looks of things. Not that that matters much here, as iRotor plunges and resets that portal. The Stubborn Flame value really adding up here for Murph. As that plunge once again keeps it close, but in some ways it's arguably preferable for Murph when iRotor is slightly in the lead. Oh, and Iroder very close there, but not quite able to connect. And now with this score, Murph is making the move. Only needs one more score to take the win, but now it does mean that Murph is in the lead, and therefore Stubborn Flame is not active, so that's the full 20 damage, and we are tied at 10 Pyre life apiece.
Someone prevail already.
Oh, did Murph just freeze? This doesn't look good. Hold on.
Oh, my bad, my bad. Do you want to count us down? Sorry.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll give you a 3, 2, 1, go, and on go I'll hit resume. 3, 2, 1, go. Duel between the harps. Iroder switches to the sap, but down goes the sap. It's just an imp for Iroder, but he has 50 rekindling. That is not what Murph wanted to see. Murph with Tizo was about to implode, but then decided against it, and instead opted to plunge for 30. That means potentially a one-score game for either player, except that Murph was down one exile, not that it mattered.
GG.
The fate prevails.
As with the Pam with the plunge, Murph takes the win.
Despite their adversaries' efforts,
GG.
the rite is ended.
Well played, you two. Alright, well let's head on back.
Until the stars align.
And Camilo is interested on getting in. Do we have anyone else who'd like to get in? Just to get a sense for if we might be looking at a single switch or a double switch.
I can play 2 more and then I'll switch.
Okay, Iroder will do a couple more. Anyone else in addition to Camilo, or are we talking just Camilo here? Corby down to get into. Okay, so maybe in that case we'll do a couple more here between Iroder and Murph, and then we'll do a double swap for Camilo and Core.
Sure.
Alright, awesome. So in that case, let us know if there is anything we'd still like to see between Iroder and Murph. Only have a couple more matches between these two here. And we just had a really nice close match there. But that one was... I think that was just both players taking any and everything they wanted, if I remember correctly. Nomads only, with no masteries.
Oh my.
We were talking about the nomads earlier. Well, now this is the real test. Alright. And no talismans either. I mean, you could argue the nomads are, especially with no masteries, sort of the jack of all trades, masters of none. So this will be very interesting to see how the players choose to well, beat their opponent. As there's no one particular thing
The withdrawn
you would think to lean on with a non-talisman, non-mastery, nomad. Like maybe the cast is good enough by itself.
who shall conduct the rites?
That banishments could be the difference maker. But everyone's the same speed,
Lendl.
same presence. A lot of this is just going to come down to simple execution. So here we go. All nomads, no talismans, no masteries. Just all fundamentals here. And it's Murph getting us started with a 20 damage plunge. Obviously, no prayer beads on anyone, so any plunge means that player is going to be down one nomad for the entirety of the next round, and I have to see just how significant that tends to be, because on one hand, it did obviously lead to Iroder scoring in that round. On the other hand, it was only an 11 damage throw versus the 20 damage that Murph had on the plunge. So, it'll be interesting to see how it affects the momentum of the match, as that time it was a plunge from Iroder, but that means now Exile's advantage for Murph, except iRotor able to plunge again. Another round of 20 damage, except once again means now down permanently 1 Nomad. Right now it's a 1 versus 1. Headwind. Lasted long enough that at least bought enough time for Lendl to return for iRotor. And that's been consistently the case here. Right as Murph banishes the 1 remaining exile, the other one comes back, but bought enough time at least to throw that one in for 15. iRotor, not quick enough to avoid the defender there. Now it's Murph. Lendl. Plunges in. That's 20 damage. That means we are awfully close here. But at least advantage iRotor in this round from the standpoint of how many exiles there are. And that means more likely that iRotor finds himself in this situation, able to throw that in uncontested for the full 20. Oh, and iRotor did not get banished in that process. Somewhat surprisingly, and that is a big difference maker, as that's the exile who plunges in. And 1 score, even a relatively quick throw, may be all that iRotor needs here. He is down 1 exile, so there is an opportunity now for, oh, Murph, except Snadra, the dramatic last-second save there, and once again!
Your exiles shall return ere long.
iRotor doing just enough to stop Murph, at least for the time being. Now iRotor on the attack with Snadra. Hops in for the win. GG.
The withdrawn prevail.
Well played, you two.
Perhaps they do deserve their freedom after all.
All right.
The ceremony.
If it wasn't fall, it would have taken forever.
Yeah, definitely.
Until the stars.
Book was a good map for that.
All right. Well, I think this may be our last one between iRotor and Murph. So let us know if there's anything else we'd like to see between these two before we swap in Camilo and Core, I think are the two waiting in the wings here. Blood Princess, how's it going? Good to see you. Turns on the sermon intro, add a little bit of drama to the next one. Anything else we're looking for here? Seems like that might be it, by the looks of things. So why don't we hop back in here?
I bid you welcome, exiles. You heed the summons to the spring of Jomur. At stake here in this rite is your salvation. Prevail and earn the favor of the scribes. The withdrawn, stand prepared. The fate, stand ready. The rite shall begin forthwith.
Alright, so no requests on this one. That means this is all up to the players. And iRotor will go banishing throws on Dalbert. Now Prayer Beads Pamitha as the Murph lead. Speedy Viz Paleth in the second spot for iRotor. Power casting Lendl for Murph. Power casting Headwind for Iroder. And the Nomad theme continues as we get an exploding Snadra in the last spot. Hamatha banished there. Now here's Iroder, blocked just in front of the Pyre. Lendl, a little bit lonely. Get some reinforcements now, only to quickly lose them though. But with that Sacred Bond, Murph able to bring them back if he goes a little bit out of the way to step on their portraits. Iroder loops around the other side, setting up a 20 damage Cur Plunge. No Dalbert in this round, though. He has the Banishing Throws talisman. Ooh, and an offensive Sacred Bond play there, in a way, from Murph, though Iroder able to weather the storm and set up a 30 damage Demon Plunge. But now, no Demon for Iroder here. Oh, pretty sure that was a double shoulder smash. Just Dalbert, and he has the Banishing Throws. Might have caught Murph a little off guard there. Down goes Lendl. Isbeleth knocks back one defender, but banished by the second. It's Snadra. Brings back Hamatha. She's the one who plunges in here. And she is back. Oh, it's quick from Dalbert. And with that plunge, drops Murph down to just 10. With all these Nomads, there is a chance that Murph has some leech potential, but I know Snadra, at least mastery-wise, does not have it. There's a chance Lendl does. Otherwise, this may be a one-score game, at least for Iroder. Oh, nearly an opening there for Murph, except the shoulder smash was not what Hamatha wanted to see, and room here, but is there time for Headwind to make it all the way through? Not quite. Same perhaps can be said for Murph. Oh, but the throw is intercepted. And Iroder, with the Demon, finishes the job. GG.
I think I like Nomad first, Cur third better. But
You did Cur first that time, right?
yes.
Okay.
I do have a soft spot for this composition where all three can score and you still have some defense.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well if it's...
Okay, GG's.
Yeah,
That
if it
was fun.
still works for
GG's,
you
yeah.
guys, I think we may look to
Drop
swap
out.
Camilo and
Yeah.
Cor in at this stage. I'll free you guys from Steam Remote Play, but thanks for stopping by. They freed themselves. They had the key all along. Imagine that. Alright, let's see. Here is Camilo. And here is Cor. Just switching now into Cor and Camilo. Alright, once you guys are in... Well, actually, assuming Cor's on... Whoa. Hold on. Getting really staticky from someone here. I think that was Camilo. It might be because I had you on 200% volume.
That would make sense.
Let me just adjust that a little bit. Okay. But I think, assuming that it is still a little staticky on your end, Camilo.
Really?
Oh, yeah, ow. What I was gonna say, though, is that assuming that we get Core in, and that he's on controller, you may be able to go keyboard mouse if you prefer that, Camilo.
I would prefer that.
Okay. Did we get Core in? Let me double check.
I'm in.
Oh, Core's in. It's actually Camilo who we're waiting on to get in. And I do still need to kick. I wrote it.
Can you send me another one?
Yeah, I can send you another. No worries.
Player one.
Okay. Should be resent now. Oh, wait. Is this what always would happen? Is this always what would happen in the past with Camilo, where for some reason... Hold on. Maybe it's just that I needed to do that. It's giving us the Phantom controller.
Oh yeah.
It loves to do this to Camilo. Alright, we might need to do a quick Pyre reboot. Because that has typically been the solution in this case. Let me do that real quick. Yeah, for some reason it's... Steam Remote Play really does not like Camilo. I don't know what Camilo did to the Steam Remote Play gods, but they have not forgiven him. No worries, Macaws.
They still hold that against me.
Alright, let's try this one again. Does Steam Remote Play really like anyone? True. True. Steam Remote Play is a tech issue. Correct. Okay, so what if we go now? Okay, Camilo has that registered. Did the invite go through for you, Core?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Alright, so in that case...
Okay, I am still player one. Let's be chat. I want to be chastity today.
Chastity today? Okay. Who would you like to be, Camilo? Let's see. Not the withdrawn. Yes. Chastity. Oh, and let's check controls for Camilo real quick. I think I've enabled, yeah. Okay. So let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like to see between these two. Otherwise, we can have them pick their preferred teams. No talismans. No skills. And customize off. Okay, so that's an interesting combination then.
Did we have a sermon intro too?
Did we have one? Did someone request one? Blood Princess did previously, but we did do that.
Oh, okay.
I think we're good on that front. Song is Ron. Okay, so basically what this amounts to is we're getting random exiles. because we're not getting random masteries or random talismans. So it's pretty much whatever you see at the very beginning is what you get. It's not really any guessing game involved in this case. So theoretically, quite a bit more straightforward.
I don't know. The nomads and savages look alike. It's gonna be hard for me to do.
They honestly, sometimes they do. That's true. Their posture is a little different.
Shall confront
This isn't
the
boat.
fate.
Oh, did we have a boat?
I'm happy to play with.
Oh, we did. Oh, I didn't. Hold
too
on.
late.
I'm
It's
sorry.
too
I did not see the boat request. My bad.
That was our other request. So you have to change it back to normal.
The chastity shall now face the fate.
Okay, so it's.
Dude, I literally have a chastity team.
Wait,
My team is
you
literally
actually do.
chastity. It's Manly and Zoxiana.
And yeah, it actually is. It's the authentic chastity team for core. And then, well, the same can't really be said for Camilo here. Certainly not with Fate. That is Dalbert. He does have the leader of the Fate. As we were saying, with no masteries and no talismans, it is just the base characters, the base abilities. So no particular mysteries that have to be solved this time round, unlike most other customized off matches. Do you know Gilman joined the Chastity? There is a... I don't remember what the worm's name is, but there is a Chastity on the... Or there's a Chastity on the worm. No, there's a worm on the Chastity, right?
I almost see what transpired there.
Well, everyone down on Camilo's side, so opportunity for Zoxiana to throw that one in.
That's it.
Sir Marsh.
A true aimed thrust into the fire.
Unfortunately, not nearly as memorable as any of the other
Sounds
worms.
familiar.
Poor exile.
It's no Lady River, nor is it even a Lady Seagrass. Certainly not a Gilman or a Deluge.
The orb is up.
But it is lore accurate.
Sir Gilman flung the orb into the flames.
Justice for Sir Marsh. Whoa! Alright, some strong words. Chat is, very eager to defend Sir Marsh. My apologies. I did not mean any disrespect to Sir Marsh. Oh, and that is not even the right worm! Sir Marsh is on the Pyre Hearts.
Gilman
Oh.
vanished.
What's wrong? What's on the investigation?
A nearly
Go.
negligible effort.
Quick throw from Core. I thought he was plunging there. I mean, it is now possible for Core to finish it with one score.
No?
Dalbert plunged
It
into
was
the
before
elements
if he went with the
fate.
sap, but
Oh, you punched.
Sir Tidemont is the Chastity worm. Okay,
Piedmont.
that's a pretty epic name.
And it is done.
But it is Zoxiana, not Sir Tidemont,
Chastity prevails.
or honorary Sir Tidemont,
As though
getting the job
skies
done here.
themselves
So
stood by their
GG's.
side.
Nah, Tidemont is no
Thus end
Sir
this
Marsh.
night's proceedings
Just not the same.
until the next rite.
Alright, well let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like for the next one. Otherwise, we'll set ourselves back here.
Good game, Camilo.
Is there anything we're looking for in this one? Not seeing anything. So why don't we hop back in? We'll leave this one up to the players.
The chastity versus the fate.
Okay, we end up at the Pit of Malith.
Welcome.
Everything up to the players here.
Who shall conduct the rites?
And Core goes quick throwing manly. And legendary talisman on Gilman for Camilo.
Exile.
Exploding Lady River in the second spot for Core.
Can you say Tidemont?
I mean, I guess you're technically 2 for 2 on the Chastity characters this time round. Are you going for another authentic Chastity team this time? Oh, well, there you go. We saw it randomly last time. But Core doubling down now on the full Chastity team. Yeah, we need 5 playable worms, so we can have 5 worms at a time on one team, because that's totally the way that Pyre works.
Tizo.
And then
When are we gonna start
legendary.
calling? Sorry, when are we gonna start calling the exploding worm the torpedo worm?
It's Camilo now with Tizo, and Infinite Stamina was the talisman selection there, the legendary Howl's Wing. Fast-paced start here, as both players competing for control over the center of the arena, small arena, Pit of Malith, and it is Camilo with our first breakthrough here. So that was a headwind plunge, but it means no headwind in this round. A big banishment there from Gilman. A lot of wall bouncing as well thus far.
A bit of a blunder.
Camilo with Gilman opts to throw, and that's unblockable,
Threw it in.
and it's good for 12. Did call them missile worms when it started, says Phaler.
Into the adversary's flame.
And there's the quick throw
Considerable precision.
from Core's Sap. And with a small arena such as this, it doesn't take long before that Sap gets into throwing range, which does make it especially dangerous here. Those exploding saplings also fairly dangerous as well, as Camilo can now attest to.
Deliverance.
A little bit of back and forth there, some interesting maneuvers from Core
Their luck, perhaps.
to find a way through with that harp. Oh, and Camilo nearly threaded the needle with his worm there. Headwind for Camilo, not able to avoid what I think was a fell swoop. Some big explosions as well. Again, maybe it's in part just the relatively small arena, but all these area of effect abilities just cover such a large percentage of the map. Makes them feel much more impactful.
Righteous fire.
But Camilo still able to hop over the defender and in for a 15 damage plunge. That means Gilman is now gone. And so is Headwind, at least after that banishment. More room, that means, for Zoxiana to find her way through there.
The fate's adversaries may as yet prevail.
Huge implosion there from Camilo, but Core got his worm back quickly enough that he's the one scoring here, and dropping Camilo down to 22 power life. That does mean it's possible for Core to finish this with one score. It would need to be his sap, but as we saw before, especially with the throws, with that quick throwing talisman, that is a legitimate threat. But now with that plunge from Camilo, Camilo does not have as much damage potential unless he has Seize Chance on Gilman, and I'm not sure that he does. Here is Gilman. Down he goes. Camilo defenseless here. This is exactly the exile that Core was looking for. And that is game.
A narrow victory, yet nonetheless commendable.
GG.
The rite is complete.
Whenever Valiant Return triggers, you get a different Sir or Lady Worm. That's an interesting concept.
Until the stars align.
Well, let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like for the next one. Otherwise, if not, as always, we can leave this up to the players, which I think is what we did last time. Oh. Okay. We have a talisman request from Murph for all legendary talismans. Or legendary. Nah, no worries, Murph. Is there anything else we'd like on top of that? I mean, that does functionally mean... Oh, actually, clarifying question, Murph. This is a little bit of an edge case, I suppose, but... Are players allowed... Well, since if every character had a talisman, that would mean that they have to take a different exile class every time. You can't double up or triple up on anything, because otherwise you wouldn't have a talisman. However, are the players allowed to optionally double or triple up on a given class and just voluntarily not take a talisman if they decide that's worthwhile? Because otherwise, functionally, this is also an exile's request cap on one exile per class. If you want to go no talisman second or third, that's up to you. Fair enough. Fair enough. Alright, in that case, why don't we get this one started? See if anyone does opt to double or triple down. It's unlikely. Just wanted to establish that in advance, though.
Shall take on the fate. Welcome.
And it is on the boat, which, as we were saying before, is an arena that may require specific planning and may very well influence and change which characters the players were planning on taking. So it's going to be Nutrition Stick Volfred in the first spot for Core. And there are definitely, of course, well, some legendary talismans that are far stronger than others. Well, legendary talismans only, remember. So even if you would normally prefer to use a particular class on this arena, it may not be a talisman that you're a particularly big fan of. That may be reason enough to switch things around. So it's interesting in how this legendary talisman request in particular is part talisman request and very much part exile request as well. Kalamer's Anklet it's polarizing, which is maybe giving it more credit than it deserves. There are not many people who voluntarily take Kael'mer's anklet, at least as a non-meme. Has anyone modded custom talismans into the game? It'd be cool to have legendary talismans. There are 2 skill trees and for the most part 2 copies of each. I thought I remembered a while back that Arumi was experimenting with talismans, and I can't remember what the...
He definitely did some new talismans. They're like ones that were like in the game, but that were like that were not like finished or whatever.
Yeah, but that's the thing that I don't remember the details on. Was he limited by the number of talismans that were in the game, technically in the game, but not fully implemented? Or is there theoretically an unlimited number of talismans that we could add still? That I'm not sure of. So it may be that we could add like 2 or 3 talismans and that's it. That I think is theoretically doable. Beyond that, I'm not sure. But here we go. The legendary talismans, and we did, for what it's worth, see Core voluntarily double down on the savages, despite not being able to take a talisman on his second savage. So we'll see how that strategy plays out here. As it is, a savage who gets things started with a 20 damage plunge. Or with Volfred. There's the big blink from the nutrition stick, but it wasn't quite enough. And Core defenseless here, but he did take the numbing gust. That slowed down Camilo. And Camilo with some strange physics there. Not even the likes of which I would usually call boat magic. Looked more like ice. Camilo was just drifting on. Gertrude. Quick throw, unblockable, at least from some ranges, and that's, or for most ranges, that's 10 damage, as he did have to cut it a little bit short. Whoa! That was a little scary, that harp cast. Here is Core. Here's the big blink. Setting up the throw, and the sap throw's also unblockable from some ranges. It's a little less reliable than, a fair bit less reliable than the crone and certainly worm throws in that way, but it can be done. Not that Core needs to be terribly concerned about that at the moment, as there's no one back to stop him this time. Well-placed sapling for Core there, and it sets up what might be the quickest sap throw, or at least the lowest damage sap throw I've ever seen, obviously. With a quick throwing talisman, that can change the math there. Or at least change how much you get from a quick throw like that. But there is Camilo, plunging for 30 with his crone. Obviously no prayer beads for anyone here, that is not a legendary talisman. Or at least not legendary in that same way. So any plunges means those characters will be gone in the next round, and that's another throw from Core. And this time a savage plunge. That means no stowaway in this round for Core. And a little bit of room there for Camilo. Oh, but good recovery from Volfred. Getting back in position to make the stop, and now on the attack. Cuts the throw a little bit short, but able to get it off in time to sneak in another 13 damage. Camilo sidestepped the exploding sapling, but did end up losing his demon nonetheless. And whoa, my goodness! Some crazy black magic jumps from the stowaway. Keeping us on our toes, but Camilo was up to it. Not distracted by the mayhem that ensued. And nearly able to score there, except Core had a savage hiding in the corner there next to the Pyre and able to sneak in a full 20 damage throw from that. That means one score from Core from basically anything. You would expect to be enough here. And there it is. GG.
The chastity prevailed. And such a well-conducted victory it was.
Well played, you two.
The rite is ended.
Alright, well, let's head on back.
Until the next rite.
That was a legendary talisman request from Murph, but let us know if there's anything we'd like to see for the next one. Going back to the topic that Camilo was bringing up with the making new talisman stuff. I mean, if we aren't limited by the number of talismans that are only partially implemented into the game, and we can just create however many we want, then obviously we would probably want some kind of indicator, some kind of visual for the new talisman, so I don't know how feasible it is to make new art and add that into the game, but if we could just, like, change the color scheme, like, basically make blue talismans red. Here's the alternate version of insert legendary talisman here. Okay, let's turn customize off for this one, and Lilac is interested in getting in. So maybe what we'll do, as it is starting to get a little bit late... That's true, we did... Well, I mean, the Scribe Snuffs obviously are at least in the campaign. So, I mean, I'm not the one who did any of the modding myself, so I cannot speak to how difficult or straightforward any of those changes were to make, but I assume that helped. That those Scribe Snuffs weren't completely made from scratch. Alright, Camilo's gonna make this his last one then, and we can get Lilac in after that. Thank you for your flexibility, Camilo. So we have the customize off, and that is it at the moment. So why don't we get this one started then? I think I hear imps. I do hear imps. It's Cur, Crone, Savage for core. It is Harp, Cur, Savage for Camilo. Actually, some similarities here between the teams, as it is Core getting us started with a 15 damage throw. Black Heart, I think that was on Camilo's Pamitha. So that is a Cursed Talisman. It would mean Pamitha has a chance of coming back as a defenseless Howler, although it didn't say anything when she spawned back in there, so it might have actually been one of Camilo's other exiles who was standing next to Pamitha. Explosive Temper, getting good value there from Barker for core. And okay, no, it's Almer who has the Black Heart. It means he has infinite stamina when it works in his favor. When it does not, he turns into a defenseless Howler. 20 damage on the Cur plunge for Camilo. The imps wall Camilo off a bit there. Pamitha switches in. Looks like she has the salute. She swapped places with Almer, but everyone down at the moment for Camilo. Almer, though, fortunately for Camilo, came back in his regular form, otherwise he would not have been able to make that stop. Pamitha switches into Almer, only to sacrifice him. Oh, and Core just barely had enough time to get that throw off for the full 15. And remember, we don't see Cur's throwing in that often, but they're limited to 15, even if they have the Glory Dive Mastery. Oh, does he have Vital Pounce? It looks like he might. Webbed Lanthorn on Gareth for core, I think I just saw.
Why, that was
And everyone down on Core's side. It's time for Camilo, although he goes for a fairly quick throw there. He might have seen Core had a character spawning back in. Might have been able to sneak in a little bit more damage out of that. But of course, then you run the risk of maybe Core would have been able to stop the throw. And here is Camilo plunging for the full 20 from his harp, but now he is harpless, and we are tied at 50 Pyre life apiece. Homer over to Barker for a 20 damage plunge. Camilo with the interception and the counterattack plunge drops Core down to 10. Now, of course, it's customized off. We can't say for certain as to whether anyone has a RITE Light talisman for the sneaky 20 rekindling, but it is possible. Especially when you don't see some of the Exile's talismans, because obviously that talisman only appears at the very end. We have seen a fair number of them. I'm not sure if we will see a dramatic RITE Lights this time. A few scores from Core. Now it is possible for Core to finish it with one score as well. At least with Udmilda, if no one else. Here is Udmilda. Her throw would have been unblockable, would have been especially dangerous. That was a fairly quick throw there. I mean, there is, of course, the Savage Mastery that increases the speed of the throw. I imagine that's where that came from, not from the Star Splinter Talisman. I don't think it was that fast. Here's Gareth. And certainly one score enough for either player at this point. Oh, there is the Black Heart activating. That might be the first time Camilo's had his Almer turn into a Howler. This is not the time he wants that to be happening, though. Hamatha plunges in for the win. GG.
Perhaps a
Close game.
ought to be thanked.
Well played.
The ceremony is complete.
All right. Well, let's head on back then.
Until the stars align.
And Camilo, if it still works for you, and Lilac, if it still works for you, we could swap and get Lilac in here. Is that all right? Works on Lilac's end. I can free you from remote play in that case, Camilo. No worries. If that still works on your end. Or you can do it yourself. Thanks for stopping by, Camilo. GG's. Let me get Lilac. Invite should be on its way. In the meantime, turn that customize back on. Give me a sec. Okay, no worries. In the meantime, if there is anything setup-wise we'd like to see between these two, let us know. Otherwise, obviously, we can leave it up to the players to take whatever they'd like. That works too.
Hello.
Mm-hmm. You
Yes, I
caught
got
me
the
right as I
reply.
took a bite out of a cookie.
Oh, what kind of cookie?
It's like chocolate cream center and
Ooh.
I don't know what you call it, like a basic, almost like wafer on either side.
Mm-hmm. That sounds really good.
Tis tasty, but it is very messy.
Understandable.
Crumbles everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I
Hello, Core.
do not think I've seen any requests, but let us know if there is anything we'd like to see there. Otherwise, Lilac, I assume you're on... Wait. No, you're on keyboard mouse.
Yes.
Okay. In that case, let me make sure...
I said I said hello, core.
Let's go here. I think this might be a little bit different, Lilac, setup-wise. Because I think, at least on the salute, I think Camilo I saw change it.
Yeah. Just, yep, there we go. I said hello, core.
Hello.
It's me.
Why didn't you respond to me earlier, core?
He was too busy preparing his Adele performance.
Where is his Adele performance then?
Hello from the other side.
Oh my, that's cinema. You should be in theater.
Oh yeah, totally.
Actually, it's audio. Cinema also has something you watch.
It's true. Or
The audio equivalent of cinema.
I don't know if I could recreate the very strange voice that I made for that. That might be a one-time kind of thing.
Just make it a soundboard and then you just put that.
Yes.
All right. Well,
yes, someone should turn that into like a soundbite.
I'm not seeing any requests for this one at the moment, so I think this is just up to you guys to take whatever you'd like here. So why don't we hop on in then? Oh, actually, Lilac, which team would you
Fate,
like to be?
ironically enough.
You're fine with the Fate? Okay.
Yep. Because the Fate is the best triumvirate, as we
Whoa.
all know.
Whoa. Slow down.
What?
Fake Faye fan.
Excuse me?
Yeah, you heard me.
Care to repeat that?
No, because I don't need to, because you heard me.
No, I didn't actually. What did you say? Lids, what did he say?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Lids, what did he call me?
I don't know.
Welcome.
Did you say I'm a fake Faye fan?
Who shall conduct
I did
the
indeed.
rites?
Explain your logic on
Because
that.
you said Fate was the best triumvirate, but why not Nightwings? Because Faye's on the Nightwings.
Faye is, in my opinion, the best character overall, but the best triumvirate is the Fate, in my opinion.
Best character has to be on the best triumvirate, or the best triumvirate has to be with the best character.
I don't think that's how. Lids, is that how it works?
I said Sir Gilman. I'm a Pyre Hearts fan. I think Pyre Hearts is the best triumvirate, and he was on Pyre Hearts. Obviously, he doesn't now, but like he was.
Then you're allowed to be wrong and a hypocrite.
Thank you for the permission.
You're welcome. Lids, do you have any input?
The cookie
This
tastes
is not
good.
gonna save you now. This is not gonna save you.
Who said I needed saving?
Well, you were looking to him for guidance and
I was
salvation.
looking to him for his.
I won't save you.
I was looking to Lids for his opinion on the matter, for his thoughts and input.
Volfred.
That is what I was looking to him for.
I also like the moment that that Valor shares the clip of the previous Adele quote or whatever you want to call it. Here's the moment when I attempt to sing Ashley Barrett while I have a cookie in my mouth and sound absolutely atrocious.
Ashley Barrett would be proud, honestly. I think.
Agree to disagree on that front.
Cora, that's not your exile.
Also, Murph,
Look at
I don't know.
those
I'm on. Wait, I already forget what the name of the other guy who we were talking about before.
God,
What
look
was
at
his
these
name?
stylish raiments.
Oh, I don't like those.
Fine, you're allowed to be wrong.
No, his name was cooler, I swear. I may not remember what it was, but it was definitely cooler.
Messenger Imp.
Tide Mons. That's a cool name. You can't deny That's a pretty awesome name.
Marsh is also a cool name.
It's too simple. It's not dramatic sounding in any
There's
way.
beauty in simplicity.
But it's... I don't like it.
That's not a good enough reason.
Sacrificial birchroot. Okay. Interesting. Well, lass, here we go with our first match of the day between Core and Lilac. Lilac defenseless there, so opportunity for Core to throw it in for 20.
Just for the record, I am not a fake Faye fan.
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, you can't tell me that Sir Marsh has a better name than Sir Frothmore? That is a fantastic name. And Tidemont.
Frothmore? Who names their child Frothmore? How?
I mean, clearly someone who has a family business in the beer industry.
Who looks at their newborn baby and says, yes, I will name this child Frothmore.
It's a family name! How dare you disrespect it like that?
Whatever you say, man.
The messenger imp did it.
It's not about the sound of his name, but the quality of his character.
Exactly.
An awkward
Well timed on the
situation
shield
for
there. To set up
The orc has hit
Snadra.
the mark.
Core, are you listening to me?
Now go on, just once more.
Core.
He's too busy banishing your exiles.
That one, throw it in.
And throwing it in for 19 damage when you have 20 health.
Oh, now you're mocking me.
Remember Greg saying he regretted not naming a worm Sir Lunky after the Bastion boss? Oh.
The orb is taken.
Here is Snadra. Doing her stutter step maneuver.
No sign of the fate for now.
And the BMO, but might come back to haunt Core a little bit at least. With that maneuver.
My.
Snadra, back at it. With the shield banishing 2 of the defenders in the process. And turns around and casts Headwind into Oblivion. And throws it in for the win.
GG.
The chastity
GG.
prevailed. And what a crushing victory it was.
Well played, you two.
Thus end this night's proceedings.
Core, can you hear me, Core?
Oh,
Until
here
the
am I
next
sitting in my tin can.
What?
Planet Earth is blue, okay?
This must be a song I'm unfamiliar with.
It would appear so.
Core. Core, I am not a fake Faye fan.
Let us know, chat, if there's anything we would like to do for the next one.
Excuse me.
Not seeing anything here, though. At least
I
not at
got-
the moment.
I got some. Oh. Never mind. It's still on cooldown.
Oh, okay. In that case...
Wait, no, you claimed the max amount available to you. Darn it. Can someone else please do a customize off for me?
Murph
Thank you.
has, in fact,
Thank you, Murph. Thank you, Murph.
turned the customize off. Randomized exiles, masteries, and talismans. That does cover just about everything. So what don't we get started?
The chastity shall now
It's at the
face
glade,
the fate.
and it is Nomad, Savage, Imp for core. It is Imp, Harp, Worm for Lilac. Other details to be confirmed. Oh, it's Gareth. It's glorious.
Of the scribes.
Unfortunately, no prayer beads for him. Obviously, Sacred Bond. Oh, and Black Hoof.
no!
Sacred Bond for core. Black Hoof for Lilac. That is not what Lilac wanted to see. Wait, and Black Heart? 2 Cursed Talismans?
Tizo flung the orb into the flame.
Was that Black Heart on Core's Im? It was near Lilac's Pyre, so I just at first assumed it was one of Lilac's characters, but I think it might have actually been Core's. Also, that's more damage on Gareth. Saw max of 28 on that. Yeah, it's Black Heart on Tizo for Core. Curious what exactly the source of the damage is for Gareth, since that may dictate whether he has things like Reduced Hope. Oh, Core makes it in as a Howler! That was a 15 damage Howler plunge. May not have had far he needed to go, but he pulled it off. And any Howler score is saying something.
thoroughly banished?
Is Gareth's damage
Has gone in.
only for throws? Is it only when he's in the lead? Depends a little bit on which talisman it is, and that may dictate whether that remains active for other parts of the right. But there's Lilac plunging for 15 with Gilman. But here's Gareth. Back to business, and again, 28 at least on the throw, but oh, it means Lilac is down to exactly 1, and this is not the first time we found ourselves in this situation.
Or are you doing this on purpose?
I mean, that's quite unlikely for that to happen. Oh, and also Lilac must have the legendary talisman here, because clearly Messenger Imp has infinite stamina. But yeah, what are the chances that Lilac would have exactly 29 Pyre Life and Core would max out at exactly 28 damage? It's not exactly a number you see all that often. So, how's it going?
We're having fun!
This is how Messenger Imp delivers messages to and from the downside, in case anyone was wondering. The dangerous portal that gets set up in the process there. But, oh, Lilac can't pick up the orb with the harp. Which does make matters quite a bit trickier. Gareth, he's asserting his dominance and culminates that maneuver with the winning plunge.
What do you call that maneuver exactly, Lids?
The right is
It's,
done.
you know, I can't tell you.
Until the next rite.
Well, let us know, chat, if there's anything we'd like to see in the next one. That previous one was Customize Off, and a Cursed Talisman for each player, which is only fitting, as that is something Customize Off does very much like to give us. What's this? An Exiles request. Specifically for Gareth Lead.
For both teams?
I would think so. No, Murph, why? Why, Murph? It was going so well. No. Gareth has Black Heart.
Wait, which
Sad
one is that
face.
again?
Well, that's the one where he will occasionally turn into a Howler.
Ah.
So I suppose that's not the
Yeah, it's not
worst.
as bad as Black Hoof.
It's not the worst cursed talisman he could theoretically have, but it is a cursed talisman. It does certainly have a potential downside.
Downside, you say?
Oh.
Like Pyre? Was that a Pyre reference?
Mayhaps.
Whoa.
Please no referencing Pyre in my Pyre
The
stream.
chastity
Yeah, excuse me.
shall confront the fate.
Pyre in my Pyre stream, it's more likely than you think.
Who shall
Unacceptable.
conduct
That's
the
not
rite?
Gareth.
Yes, it is. It's the most.
I mean, if you want to
stylish
give someone
on the
else a cursed
downside.
talisman, like, you know, maybe I wouldn't be wholly against that, but it was specifically a Gareth request. I think this might be our first fall today. If I'm not mistaken.
Didn't you say lead Gareth?
Yes.
Yeah?
Gareth lead.
Yes. Is
Gar-
this not Gareth?
Yeah, that's not Gareth.
What do you mean?
Do we need to teach you how to read?
No, I already know how to read. That's how I ended up here. Remember?
Is that another Pyre reference?
Yes, it is actually.
Too many
talked
Pyre
about this.
references
We talked
in our
about
Pyre stream. Get out of here.
Man, you guys are no fun.
Exile.
I mean, seriously, you think people come to this Pyre stream to see and hear and talk about and experience Pyre? Nonsense.
Yes, actually.
Nonsense.
Alma.
Who do you take us for?
I mean, it is a Pyre stream. Why would you do that, Core? Core, why did you do that?
She doesn't know chat.
Oh,
Orale.
Core may be scheming.
Well, I'm not, because I'm an honest person.
That's just what Lilac wants us to think. I'm on to you.
Whatever do you mean?
It's all just an elaborate ruse. You can't
I don't
fool me.
scheme. I've never schemed in my entire life. Sorry, I was eating turkey.
One does not eat turkey.
Speaking of turkey,
What? Excuse me?
turkey,
What?
turkey.
Rookie is definitely not a turkey.
Rookie.
That's what he wants you to think.
Oh, commence.
Chad, am I being gaslighted right now?
I believe the grammatically correct term is gaslit. Oh my god! Hello? What? I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
What? You know, he's just in the arena, right? And also very enthusiastic about saying the name of his team.
What am I looking at here?
Greg can backflip, see?
He's just
Get
training
Get
for
down from there.
for the Olympics.
Get down from there, you whippersnappers.
Hey,
You
what'd
get
call
out
me?
from there.
Get out. I called you a whippersnapper.
No, don't call me that.
Why? Is it not true?
Get off my lawn.
Actually, Core, how old are you?
Wouldn't you like to know, weather boy?
Oh,
Good.
using my own tricks against me. I can't believe
Not
it.
much force of will behind that thrust.
But seriously, like, can you tell me
No.
why?
The sky.
Judging by the alignment of the moon and
unable
the
to.
stars, I would say something greater than zero.
Adversary's flame.
I'd argue against that, honestly. Considering how you act like a baby
Merely a
sometimes.
glancing blow.
You're like a baby. You
Yeah,
don't know
I'm
what
actually
to do.
Core, what? Lids, what did you just say?
Now, my memory may be a little bit off, but it was an attempt at an Avatar quote.
I've not watched Avatar.
Why, that was rather bold. How very fortunate for the chastity.
Yes, the Howler.
We're blocking you. I'm actually like.
Gareth is still able to defend as a Howler. Incredible.
United in banishment.
Oh, hold on. Could it be? Howler form, Gareth!
Go against the adversary's fire.
He's done it.
Yes.
Now Wolfred. For 25.
Core, is your age a number?
No, it's more like a time of day.
It's a Greek symbol.
Okay, what Greek symbol is it?
Sigma.
What the Sigma?
The orb is up.
Skibbity Riz Sigma?
Oh no.
Core, you have 0 Skibbity Riz.
I don't know. These are some interesting maneuvers Core's savages are pulling off here.
Glorious.
May not be the word I would use to describe it, but it's certainly something.
The orb.
Your armor is quite feisty today.
Oh,
Into the adversary.
Lilac did come back in Howler form there, which nearly proved to be a factor.
Core, what are you doing? I feel like you're not playing to win. I feel like you're playing to antagonize me.
Stands
I do like the color scheme on this second savage, I agree.
You would.
Oh, it's Howler
Gareth
again.
fan.
Howler Gareth. It's Wolfred
Gareth
who gets the
fan.
stop.
Are you a Gareth Kinney? Lids?
I don't know what words you just said.
I said, are you a Gareth Kinney?
I still don't know what words you are saying.
Chat, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. He's a fake Gareth Kinney.
Alma plunged into the fires of his
Can you believe this, chat? I can't believe I'm in a server with not one but 2 fake Kinneys. Shaking my head. But Lids, the term Kinney essentially means one who has a character that they relate to a great deal.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody asked.
I'd also like to acknowledge that this is the 3rd time, I think, we've seen Lilac on precisely 1 Pyre life. When
Yeah.
usually we would go several weeks without anyone ever reaching exactly 1 Pyre life.
taken.
Looks like these two are having an argument. Wolfred and Orlek are having a disagreement. Wolfred, give me my ball back. I know you took it. Where'd you
he
put
threw it
it?
up on the roof. He threw it up on the roof.
You know I can't reach it. Where'd you put the ladder? This is how the old English felt when we started speaking modern English. True.
Sorry, Volfred.
You know you can salute, right?
Oh my god.
Absolute game changer.
Took her way too long to figure out.
I forgot. I forgot I was able to salute.
Now then,
I'm a pro Pyre player.
one triumvirate stands unopposed.
Here is Orlek, and at least for a minute there,
Such a display.
core defenseless. Enough time for Orlek to make it through.
The orb is taken.
Now, no Orlek in this round,
Thoroughly banished.
with no one back defensively for Lilac at the moment, at least until Gareth makes his return.
Such fervor. And it is done.
And it is done. GG.
Core, are you trying to make a statement by
Their
doing all
fire
these
burns whilst that of their adversaries is
down
not
to
out.
1 matches?
I think those legitimately have been coincidences. It's just very strange coincidence. It's very
really?
hard to do just enough damage. Like if you're doing partial damage throws, it's really hard to hit an exact number with that.
True, it though it feels
Until
like the kind of thing.
stars
Huh?
align.
The answer is yes.
You're doing it on purpose
Yes.
to
And
make a
it is-
statement?
It is a statement, yes.
What is the statement exactly?
It's a rhetorical statement.
It's not a rhetorical statement if nobody knows what it means, Core.
Yeah, it's rhetorical. I know what it means,
Wait.
that's the most important part.
No, the other people need to know what it means, Core. Lids.
That's true. I think that's your thing.
Well, it is starting to get a little bit late now, so it may make sense for this to be the penultimate rite, the last one in which we take any requests before the liberation rite. So if there is anything we would still like to see before the night is through, then let us know. This will likely be our last chance to make that happen. Is there anything we would like to go for here? Or, of course, if not, we can always leave it up to the players. That works too.
Also, I noticed a new request you can make, Lids.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I noticed that there's a new purchase that you can make.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I do. Unfortunately, I don't think I can afford it right now. I know what I want to do. I know I got a request. I got a request.
No talismans. Okay.
We can't do that.
Oh yeah, no, that's actually impossible.
Okay.
Alright, but we will be on the boat.
Can I change my talisman's request to be only the bare minimum necessary for an all saps match?
If I can take a bathroom break before we go, because this could be a long match.
Yes.
You
Yes.
could take a bathroom break during the match. And it won't-
Honestly, yes. I probably could. Oh, because this will be basically just a cursed talisman for, well, triple saps on each side, one cursed talisman each, and that is what makes it possible to do this without crashing the game, but tends not to be the quickest of matches. They have gotten faster, generally speaking, as of late, as people have gotten more accustomed to using saps offensively.
Lids, when do you think you're gonna be back?
That's a great question. I wonder. Don't worry, I'll go ask Lids.
Wait, implying that you're not Lids?
He's Vids. It's his twin.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm back. How's it going?
Lids, welcome back.
Hey, what's up?
We were talking to your twin brother, Vids.
Oh gosh. You guys had to deal with him? I'm sorry.
What's wrong with Vids?
Well, I mean, he's not Lids. Well, anyways, I do notice that right now it says we can't commence the rite. Did someone disconnect?
Yes, both of us disconnected.
Oh.
Wait, I do
Something
not know how.
happened.
I don't know how that happened actually.
Lilac disconnected first, and then I said, "Oh no," and she didn't know she disconnected. And then I disconnected randomly too.
That dastard.
Wait, is that when you said "uh-oh" and I was like, "Why are you saying uh-oh?"
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were like being.
I know what you thought. I know what you thought.
What did I think? What did
That I
I
was
think?
scheming.
You're correct, actually. I did think that you were scheming.
Yes, because you said that.
No, I thought you could read minds. Alright, oh, actually, we do need to put this on. Even if we are saying that we only need one talisman per team, it is still critical that we have that one talisman. So, if you guys are ready to resume, reminder, we are going triple sap each, and then the one talisman we will need is the cursed talisman that prevents you from placing the sapling from one of those saps so that we prevent the game from imploding.
The chastity shall confront the fate. Welcome.
Alright.
Is there anything to be? Would there be anything to be?
The rites.
Is there anything that would be lost if we were to add even more exiles to the game, hypothetically?
What do you mean lost?
Like, there's not really a point to it since we have at least 3 of each exile.
Yeah.
But like, is there any explicit reason not to?
UI-wise, it gets pretty clustered. It was already
True.
pretty difficult to
True.
squeeze everyone in, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not like a be-all, end-all type thing, but...
We can just like have them all over the screen.
Gosh.
Put them up here, and down here. Remind me again, what is the policy for saps and talismans?
So you need to have this on one of your
Got it.
saps.
And
Got
you
it,
can't have
got it.
any other. You can't have guardian sapling as well.
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
on specifically the sap that has that talisman, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
Well, Wolfred.
So it will be interesting to see which of the saps the players choose to set up that way.
Wolfred.
What's the mastery I'm not supposed to take? Or that I-
L1. So you have to take full right side.
Got it.
Manly.
Manly sucks. Oh, hold on just a second.
Sap.
Sounded like Lilac may have gone AFK. If I'm reading between the lines a bit there. But also the sap, the log champ spam earlier.
Yeah. It's way too much. Ban that chatter.
Nightbot actually, if you do it too much, Nightbot
Yeah.
actually will. For what it's worth.
Choose someone.
I don't know. I think it's if you do a certain number of emotes, if you pass the emote threshold in a single message, then Nightbot takes note. I don't know if you can. If you're allowed to do that the first time round, and then Nightbot gets mad, or the very first time you exceed that threshold, Nightbot gives you a warning. But then if you continue to do it, then Nightbot, I think, will at least time you out, I think, for an increasing amount of time if you continue to do it. Don't know if Nightbot will actually ever ban you for doing that, but theoretically the length of the timeout could become quite long.
Sorry, I am back.
No worries.
I hope that you heard me when I said that I had to be right back.
Oh
and
yeah,
then
no
you
worries,
just-
we heard you.
Okay.
I think this is the sap you need with the...
No, he. No,
Has-
she
has
put on
Lilac already
that
done that?
Manly. Yeah, yeah. She
Okay.
put on
Yeah.
manly. Is that 150 rekindling I see?
It's at least 100.
Perhaps.
I think it's
Perhaps.
150. Okay.
What's it to you, weather boy?
Alright, well, I hope you guys brought your popcorn. It could be a little while. As I was saying, you know, this once upon a time was the methodology we used to try to set the record for the longest rites ever. But as Core is demonstrating here with that first 25 damage score from a throw, people have, over time, gotten quite a bit better offensively with the saps. There was a time when people used them almost exclusively for defensive purposes. And at that point, that was kind of the whole idea of going triple sap on both sides, was it's all defense, no offense, all rekindling. So we're just setting ourselves up for the longest rite possible, and, well, we had that happen several times, including one match that was here on the boat. This was, of course, this concept was the thing that led to the first ever Rite Club Civil War. Though in that case, it was actually just 2 saps. That might have been pre-mods, to tell you the truth. So it was
I
just...
believe it might have been.
Yeah, because that was a while ago at this point. So it was 2 saps and 1 imp with the talisman that prevented them from picking up the ore. On both sides.
All of them.
And slightly different setups talisman-wise on either end. Of course, the captain of one team being Speedy Volfred, the captain of the other being Quarterback Manly.
Sorry, Wilfred.
And that is the origin of that phrase.
The iconic duo.
Flames withstood.
Well, there is the rekindling, and there is the confirmation. It is a whopping 150. And the bell just keeps on ringing as well as it registers the rekindling, and it keeps on getting higher and higher, the pitch. big exploding sapling, although the orb does inadvertently hit Lilac's Pyre and bounce back out.
Unfortunate for the fate.
Opportunity here for Core. Can charge it up all the way for 25 from that throw.
Into the adversary's flame.
Lilac trying to get out from next to the Pyre as Core getting very aggressive here. Gets rid of everyone with an exploding sapling to set up this throw.
The pyre on each side burns just as true.
Manly. Does he have that much range? He does. Demonstrating that yes, in fact, the saps do have, at least by default, starting off, the longest throwing range of any class.
To the last.
But it feels like nowadays we see people using the quick throw talisman on the saps so often that you don't really notice the crazy range quite as much. Obviously that dictates how close you need to get before you become a throwing threat, but not as much of the long-range sniping saps nowadays. It feels like it's more just all about get the sap up close and quickly sneak in a throw. Well, at this point, one more full damage score would be sufficient for Core, as we have already seen Lilac's rekindling. And from some ranges, those throws are unblockable. That time, there is a chance that Core deliberately cut that one short.
Then a lick of flame remains.
Dropped Lilac down to 2 Pyre life, but as I was saying earlier, it is very hard to be precise with those partial damage throws. Maybe Core was trying to stop right at 24 damage to drop Lilac down to exactly 1 for what would have been, I believe, the 4th?
I know your
Time?
game, Core.
One and all.
Thank you.
I know what you're scheming.
And it is done.
GG.
GG.
Good game.
The chastity prevailed.
Well played, you two.
They vastly outperformed their
Then you
adversaries.
took that bathroom break, Vids.
It wasn't a 40-minute ride.
Not yet.
Not yet. What, is there more rekindling?
Yes, my secret after-match rekindling.
Surprise! You forgot about my 2 other saps with their 50 rekindling.
5 versus 3, that's not fair.
Oh, alright. Well, I do think it is time now for our final rite of the night, our liberation rite, which means no requests from chat for this one. Just having both players take their preferred teams to finish things off in style. And that also means we would go Fate, never to return. So if you two are ready, let us begin.
Good evening, exiles. You are gathered at the fall of Solium. You now have this chance to prove yourselves. Know that the scribes themselves are watching. The chastity, stand ready. The fate, stand prepared. Now let us begin.
Alright, so as I said, this will be our final rite of the night, our liberation rite, so no requests from chat for this one.
Gilman.
Both players taking their preferred teams to finish things off in style, and that's a legendary talisman on Gilman for the extra jumping range as Core's lead.
Or Lex Band.
You're not in the head of Right Night. Vids?
He's banned for tournaments. He's not banned for liberation rites. It's okay.
He's not gonna be liberated, just like he's gonna fall off a cliff. Come on,
Hey!
in the lore.
It's a good thing Blue isn't in the chat right now.
And why is that?
Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy?
Sandra. Ametha.
Dying Flame on Pamitha for the conditional extra damage from Lilac. Last pick for Core after having taken Snadra in the second spot. This is now Sunken Shadow on Jodariel for the extra banishment time. Lilac finishes with plunging damage on Ruki. So alright, here we go, our final rite of the night, our Liberation Rite, Core on the left representing the Chastity today, and Lilac on the right representing the Fate. Best of luck to you both.
Seconds on Orlek.
Brazen. Now. In the name of Solium Myrrh. There. Vampire's flames grow weak. Ouch. adversary's flames. The orb is up. Now that is how to snuff a flame. Come now, someone end this. Good. There goes the orb. And there it is.
There it
GG.
is.
Have proved
GG.
their worth.
Good game.
Well played, you two.
Of their adversaries, the same cannot be said. Thus ends the liberation rite.
And as we were saying, that was our final rite of the night, our liberation rite. So thank you everybody who participated in the rites today and everyone who gave us the requests in chat as well. I am going to hop out of Discord, but I will catch you
Alright.
guys next time.
Was an honor.
GG's. Okay, let me quickly, if they haven't already done so themselves, get them out of remote play. Let's see, you're good. And I think Lilac is as well. Double check. There we go. Alright, well, yeah, as I was saying, that was our liberation rite, our final rite of the night. So thank you everybody who participated in the rites today and everyone who gave us the requests in chat as well. This was of course Pyre Community Rite Night, and if you're interested in getting more involved in multiplayer Pyre, then the best way to do so is by joining the Rite Club Discord server, which you can join by clicking on that link right there. But my name is Lids. I'm hosting these Rite Nights. My streaming schedule is weeknights. We're doing a combination of Path of Exile 2 and the First Descendant, at least subject to the new work schedule, which I am not 100% sure what that's going to look like going forward, so that's a little bit of a TBD situation, but we'll see. Then Fridays, we're doing Mass Effect Andromeda multiplayer, Saturdays, Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, and then Sundays, obviously, this, Pyre multiplayer. Then Lids Vids on YouTube as well, posting the VODs for all those streams, so if you missed anything, you can catch it there as well. Also doing some Hades 2 videos straight to YouTube, in addition to our first ever Path of Exile 2 build guide video. You can check all that stuff out as well. And if you haven't done so yet already, of course, you can also hit the follow button to get a notification for when I go live. Also at LidsVids on Twitter, I post there when I go live as well. But actually the best place to stay up to date on all things Lids is my Discord, which you can join by clicking on that link right there. But that's going to be it for me for tonight, so thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and I'll catch you next time.